Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku was, or actually holding back his powers. So, in this alternate timeline, will be the focusing more on the his like if he didn't become a hero and or should I say more laid back than being so hyped up about them becoming the hero. So I need to I forgot to add this part. So let me add all of them real quick to so yeah. Sorry if I'm a little bit tired or sound tired because I just woke up a little bit ago. So yeah. So let's begin. So Zuko and Zumi been born. Yes, I am adding Zumi to this what if. So yes. And yeah. And I don't want any of you to keep telling me, or actually the one comment that someone made, it's not cool. It's just trying to figure out how to word it. So yeah. Now, without further ado, let's continue this what if. So Zuko and Zumi been born, and Zuko actually was born with actual powers. Not a quirk, but actual powers. So, because back then, in this storyline, people were born with powers that are so powerful that even nobody could explain how they were born with such abilities. Some could move rocks with their super strength. Some people could fly across the world without using wings, quirks, and all that stuff. But over time, quirks. So quirkless, or after these powers were basically wiped from existence to bring in quirkless people, and then quirks manifested, and quirks are more watered down in this timeline, so they're basically watered down versions of superpowers. So Ochako, who's because her quirk is watered down version of the of a power that's called maximal gravity. Some say whoever has been born with that power can make the entire world's atmosphere change. Like gravity can be more forced down to people. Yeah, and some of those people are just yeah. So let's continue. So when Zuko was born with so much power, in order to keep him and everyone, because he read stories about how powers used to but he knows he has powers of infinity and zero, and the metaverse. So he's a top one. So yeah. So in order to keep his powers away from, yeah, the pain, sorry, from everybody, he ends up, yeah. So Zumi doesn't know, Inko doesn't know, Sashi, nobody else knows, because, yeah. So Zuko, or so at age of 3, Bakugo, is like, man, if I had a quirk, it would be quite cooler than the rest of yours. Yeah, I agree with that. If okay, and so he's like, and but Bakugo says, "Hey, you two want to play as a hero or a villain? I'm out." And Zuko says, "Why?" Because as he sits down, I'll be the one that cleans up. Okay, so yeah, so because he hides his aura, his threatening aura, because his powers are connected to his soul. So when his, like, basically, if he shows it, then yeah. But Zuko does have his ear pods in and reading books, and like, because actually one of the his powers has a similar effect, as he's always like, this is what he looks like when when Zuko's insides of his own minds is sane. As Zuko was pretty powerful. So yeah. And Ochako in this What If loves Bakugo. And so then Toga actually, when during, or like, so she was a transfer student, everybody's like talks bad about her. The and I also forgot that the Zuko already has a quirk that manifested before, but no one knew about it. So his quirk is unnamed. So basically, he can name it anything he wants. So, but he can hide it so good that even like quirk doctors can't even, yeah. So when Toga, or so Zuko was like, huh, you man. Quit talking smack about people's behind their backs. So then he walks up to the roof where Toga was at, and she's trying to like, where did you go, Shimago Toga? As she says, go away. Your quirk is the, as he reached into his backpack and tells Toga that the reason why I came is to give you this. As he plucks out a pack of blood, as he walks over, hands it to her, as she drinks it, her eyes become back to normal, but something else happened. Her side effects of her quirk randomly just disappeared. She had no longer need for a human blood stuff. As she looks at him, how did you do that? I have many talents. One of them is my specialty. It's called Quirk Modify. It allows the user to, or allows me to basically change the person's quirk to whatever I chose. So I removed the side effect, and I also changed it to you just need to think of a person instead of consuming their blood. Wow. And as she walks up, or she gets up and she walks over, and she basically hugs him, and she actually, so at age of 4, the quirk doctor says, okay, one of you two have. So Zuko and Zumi went to the quirk doctor, and Zuko and Zumi, so the quirk doctor tells Zumi that she has a quirk and she can become a hero, and she tells, so he tells Zuko that he's quirkless and he can't become a hero. So, but he actually didn't have a double jointed, or double whatever that thing's called. Double toe. Oh, he only has a single toe. Like a single joint, not double joint. So basically, but Zuko knows he makes it look like a double joint. But in reality, he only has a single joint in his toe. So yeah. So Zuko ends up basically is smiling about that. As Zumi's like, why are you smiling? Well, means that I'm quirkless. Huh. That's good. Because as everybody's like, huh. Yeah. So then Zuko actually knows that the quirk doctor lied. But plot twist, Zuko actually made him say that. So, because in reality, his quirk is actually his second personality, like his inner voice. So, without further ado, let's So, a time skip. Everybody calls him quirkless, useless, and all that stuff. Oh. But, so Ochako still loves Bakugo. But Toga, and on the other hand, she loves Zuko so much that the only... She basically... Because she wants him to join UA too. But because he's quirkless, as... So, Bakugo actually gave him a nickname, but turns out Zuko covers his head, or when he, like, after school, he walks away. But he smiles about that. Thank you, Bakugo. As so then his quirk's name is called deku. So basically, yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So Deku ends up so he stayed the same. So let's do a time skip to 15. Zuko and Toga were training. And yeah. As Toga's like, man, you should join UA. Yeah, but yeah. Well, he won like weekend thing. Because his parents ignored him for most of his life. So, but he doesn't care. He was mostly focused on, like, he flips a page. So yeah, so Toga, Zumi, Ochako, Bakugo went to UA. Zuko goes to a quirkless school, but he becomes a janitor thing. Like he does. So before that, when he was only 12 years old, he's like, this sand needs to be cleaned. And so then he basically picked up the entire trash stuff. And like, yeah. As All Might shows up and he says, I was gonna clean the entire sand. No, All Might, I got it. I mean, you pro heroes need to do your jobs. I just need to do mine. As he smiles with that. Yeah. After all, people call me worthless for because of me not having the quirk. Wow. So, as he mostly lied through this what if stuff, so watch out. Because, yeah, because he's holding back a lot of power, so he's is so powerful that even anyone even coming near him could even not accept that Toga loves him, and she actually loves him more than anything. So he does clean up the entire sand by himself in a single night. And he does clean up the shorelines, like basically the entire ocean and lakes from the entire world. Because compared to like most people, powers, or like people that were born with powers, were respected by nature. Basically, animals and vegetables and or should I say fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. Well, yeah. Zuko was, so he basically lives with Toga. Yeah. Plus, yeah. So then the time skip to All Might versus All for One. And All Might was down, but not out. I said All Might was down, not out. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, Zuko, or so All for One doesn't know about the. Here, let me. Where is that stupid image? So, All for One doesn't even know that there's a powerhouse more than everybody. So Zuko ends up basically so All for One is an air cannon, but he says no. As I want you to be wiped off from the face of a planet. As Zuko uses, or as All for One used his own power, as he says and let me remind you, he's in his prime, so, yeah. And the Court Doctor finds a way, back then, the Court Doctor finds a serum to reverse the damage a lot by giving it to All for One. So, All for One says, it's time for you to die. Infinity Cannon. And, yeah, so that was back then before. But then he says that now. When he let go, as two glowing red eyes coming out of it. It's like the attack was stopped. As and All for One looks at him. or let's say Zuko was in his normal form, like without his superhero costume. He just like appears as a citizen. As he says, huh, you have to kill All Might. You have to kill me first. As Zuko says, mine. As Zuko, who looks at him, or All for One says, or All Might looks at him, get out of here, kid. He's no match for you. You should say that to him. He is no match for me. Really? As All for One could sense something's different about Zuko, or everybody could sense something different, or All Might can sense something's different about Zuko when they first met. But then when All for One used his powers again, this time was different. As a shadowy figure with long hair, her more muscular body build, red eyes. As Zuko said, he did release his aura before and his powers. So this is what he looks like when he gets angry. So when he says, it's time for some competition. You're no match against my power. As Zuko says, as All for One looks at him with disgust, as he can't believe, as he first thought was, this brat evaded my attacks twice. But then when he realized who it was, wait a minute. As All for One can't believe that he's gonna battle against, as All for One says this. Are you one of those people that were born with his powers instead of a quirks? As Zuko roars back, yes, I am. But my powers were called Infinity and Zero. Much more powerful than everyone else's. As when everyone heard what powers he has, everyone was shocked. Like, some of them were like, we're dead. We're so dead. As even villains were panicking, like, we're so dead. And the most powerfulest power in the universe is standing right in yeah. So everyone was like scared. And so Zuko had a intense face. As he says, reason why I didn't join either side is because I'm the pinnacle, as Zuko says, I'm the pinnacle of power itself. So now you're in my domain. And before we start, as he looks over at Bakugo, thank you, Bakugo, for actually doing one thing. And that would be, as as he says it in the shyest voice, or scared voice, you gave my unnamed quirk the name of Deku. See, I have a quirk, but my quirk holds my powers back. But now, let me show you why. Because as he turns his head back to All for One. Let me tell you why that you do not want me angry. One, if you threaten my friends or my family, yeah, he does all these threats, but then All for One try to interrupt, but then out of nowhere, All for One's what was left of All for One was just a skeleton. Like he only had that mask on, but every other part of him was a skeleton. As he lands, it's like, don't interrupt me when I'm talking. And all the villains from the entire world went right at him. But everybody thought he's dead. But then, out of nowhere, Cool Eyes. As Zuko walks right past them, with his eyes lowered. As everybody's like wondering, as the villains can't even turn their heads. Because what Zuko did, he made every single villain that was about to do like world's biggest dog pile onto him end up exploding with blood everywhere. As Zuko's is his only form is that he was same size as All Might. An endeavor put together. Yeah. Standing on top of each other. That's how big he is. With his body doing massive proportions. So, yeah, massive proportions. As this is what, when Zuko was, or actually, let's say, this is what Zuko looks like when he, or without those like pointy ears, and he just has a long hair and like muscle body, basically. So 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 I'm doing anime characters. So yeah. And yeah. So his yeah, he basically is like that. But 2 times taller than All Might and Endeavor put together. Yeah. So yeah. As when everybody saw his true body mass thing, like his muscles and all that stuff, they all had nosebleeds. Toga's was like she had love in her eyes. Like, just imagine drawing two love eyes. Yeah. And so after that, as he's like, before he left, or should I say, sorry, before he left, he tells All Might that the no need to worry about the citizens, and I already took care of it. And they didn't realize how fast he can go. As All Might turns around and sees like a buildings were rebuilt before they even. As he's like, wait, what? How? Yeah. So then the next day, or so after he left, he goes to Toga's, and Toga and Zuko, were both were laying in bed, and yeah, not doing anything weird. It's just yeah. So the next day, Zuko's so news of Zuko's is the only one that's more powerful than any person. the Every villain went into hiding, and then every pro hero even tries to look for him to recruit him as a like basically a student or as a pro hero, because they know that yeah, so everybody was so Zuko basically was on a park. He did drop off Toga so that yeah. And she's in class 1B. And yeah. So then yeah. So Zuko was just reading the book with his ear pods in, as no one even truly understands. But one day found out that he's the one that, as everybody's like, why didn't you join UA and all that stuff? Because it would tip the balance between powerhouse and non. Because it's like me against the world. But I will happily to join in. As Zuko reads a book, as everybody's like, wow, just like that, huh? Yeah. No fight or nothing. No need. I would definitely win because, yeah, obviously, as everybody agrees. Plus, we all saw your powers, and man, yeah, that's what I feared the most. What? Showing you, rest of you guys and girls, my powers, you all be running for a hills. Or being scared of me and, like, basically not become friends with me. So, yeah. As Toga was there, as she says, I'm not afraid of your powers. As she's like, yeah. As she's just like, sits with him. And like, yeah. So, and so, as all my, or so, plus, Zumi is like, so, did you really did have a quirk? Yes. But I rigged it so, or I made the quirk doctor say that I can't have a quirk, or I don't have a quirk. Because and I was scared that because I didn't have the proper name for it. Until, as he grabs Bakugo, until this buddy, he gives me that and quirk's name of Deku. Okay? Deku Limit is his full name, actually. And Bakugo's like, wait, you... So how did you know that How did you know that... Or how did you make me say your nickname into... Yeah. Well, the... Yeah. Because I was scared of if I had... Or if I used my powers, like activate it. Because he does have his aura sealed before by himself, because, yeah. And everybody's like, man, no need to be afraid of. We're not afraid of your powers. And, yeah. Plus, the quirk that he actually got, or no, that he was born with, was actually a limit quirk, but it's also revive quirk. So basically, he can come right back as many times as once. But every time he does that, he even grows stronger too. So he joins UA, and Toga actually during lunchtimes, she's like gnawing on him, like hugs him. As yeah. As Ochako can't believe that because she actually did used to have love interest into Zuko before. But when she met his friend, that love became like loving for Bakugo instead. So, yeah. So Zuko and Toga were dating for a long time. And, yeah, and so now, because of how he is, like his powers are more powerful, all the villains that they just went into hiding. So, yeah. So Zuko is not useless. He's not quirkless. He hasn't met the Pussycats thing. He didn't even join. Yeah. So he basically he wanted to live a normal life so that because of, like, he's always has to hang in the balance between pro heroes and villains. And Zuko, who says, at least I'm not the... There's a story that always I tell myself before. Ready for it? As Bakugo goes like, yeah, let's hear it. As everybody's like, okay. This story is to my alternate self. His name is called Doomsday Zuko. And so then he explains the whole backstory to him. And yeah, Zuko was, when they all heard that Zuko was, like, every alternate version, but when they heard was like Doomsday part of him, as everybody's like, ooh, scary. Name. Yeah. So Zuko was pretty powerful. Yeah, so after that, then a time skip to a near future. Basically, I'm skipping the overhaul thing. So Zuko and Toga got married and had 2 kids. And they both born with powers. One, or should I say, both of them were born with similar powers to what Zuko has, but one for each. So his daughter gets like powers of infinity, and her brother gets power of 0. And they have a combined quirks. Like basically they gained a combined quirk of Toga's is blood transformation or transform, and Zuko, or should I say Deku's is quirk. So basically how it works is 2 different ways. First way is that if a person drinks another person's blood, like a dead person, then the dead person comes back to life. And yeah. So then and that's for Zuko's sister, or no, daughter. His daughter. I keep saying sister. Yeah, so actually his sister actually got married to Todoroki-san. And yeah. So then both of them are just too crazy. So now this is the end of the what if storyline. And sorry if this becomes bad. I just thought about it. So, and I know that some of you guys are like typing in the comments of, this video is bad. And you write bad stories about certain things. Because one time, in one of my videos, like past videos, one of you guys actually said that you made a bad video or you made a bad story. So I hope that you have a nice day and see you on the other side. So not really the okay. So Toga is, as I use Toga on, hi. Peace out. So, peace.